Hi, I'm Joanne Cary. Welcome back to Embodied Soul Podcast, a multidimensional space intended to support you in mastering, living, being, and thriving as the embodied soul you are. Today, I was called to bring through a message for you, sharing an energetic tool that I use that is quite profound when utilized, and it will support you in navigating the times ahead with more ease and more grace. I use this tool pretty much every day, and anytime I'm feeling a little bit off balance, anytime I am looking to make a decision, anytime I'm going into a difficult conversation, utilizing it all the time. So if you are wanting to join me, please pull up a comfy chair, invite in your soul, and be open to receive exactly what you need to live, be, and thrive as the embodied soul you are. So we've talked about intentions in a previous episode. And again, this is using the power of intention, but specifically related to our energetic field. So what we are navigating right now as a human collective, as well as individually, is a lot of turbulence. We are going through significant internal changes that are reflecting in a lot of what people might call chaos, a little bit of disruption, challenges, change, the new, all of this stuff that we're going through that can bring our systems into a little bit of chaos, disruption, off being off balance, so that we have a harder time navigating it. When we're moving through such times of shifts and change, and where our bodies are changing and we're receiving more light, it can be hard to hold ourselves steady, and our mental mind can take off and begin to create all of the worst case scenarios. And that just draws us down into a spiral that lowers our frequency, that attracts more things that we don't prefer. And it's this that I want to support you with. It's an energy tool that I've been using for years now, and I felt called to share it with you today because there is so much change, there is so much turbulence, there is so much chaos, if you want to call it that, happening. Things that are pulling on our heartstrings, that are making us question, how can these things be happening? Why are these things happening? And this is the time for us to really ground in, to come back into that still center point of our being and really anchor in and connect to our vastness and our truth. But we're at varying phases and varying places on the spectrum of connection. And this tool can just help you lift your energy system to the highest that it can maintain, so that you can make those decisions, those choices, choose the responses from the highest place that you can, which will ultimately draw to you the highest choices, right? So when you make choices in fear, when you make choices because you're afraid that something bad is going to happen, that you're trying to protect yourself from this bad outcome, this bad circumstance, this bad thing happening, you're actually creating that. And again, I've talked about this in previous episodes. And so what I invite you to begin practicing is setting this intention. Do it every morning. Do it whenever you are planning on having that hard conversation, whenever you have to make a decision that maybe you're feeling a little bit more confusion about. Any time that you feel that you've been thrown off balance, where you feel that your energy is contracted, where you feel fear, where you are just in confusion, upset, destabilized, all of the things, I invite you to say this intention. I set the intention to align my energy systems to the highest frequency that I can maintain right now, or that I can hold right now. I am now choosing, I am now intending to align my energy systems to the highest frequency that I can hold right now. And I'm going to say that one more time, and I want you to, and the variations, it's the intention behind. Your intention here is to feel, to lift your vibrational frequency, which, remember, is always an oscillation depending on what we are experiencing in the moment. And when you say it this time, I want you to pay close attention to what you sense, feel, know within your body, using all of your other senses. For me, I feel my field lifting up. I feel it stabilizing at a higher level. And so I know that is moving myself to the highest frequency, right? So if you're here and your highest frequency that you can hold is right here, remember, we're always lifting up and shifting upwards. But if we've been in sort of a bit of turmoil, had something that we didn't prefer happen, we just woke up after, a bad night of nightmares or whatever it is that you happen to be feeling, begin when you set this intention, just notice what you notice. Again, you might feel just a lightening. You might feel a slight lifting. You might just get a knowing in the center of your being that says, I'm now connected to a higher level. You might feel a peace come over you. You might just feel yourself stabilize from being a little bit off balance. So let's do it again. I am now choosing to align my energy systems to the highest frequency I can maintain right now. And just feel. I feel it lifted. I feel it stabilizing. I almost feel as though I'm being held, floating at this higher level. And when you're aligned to that and you choose to and intend to align to that as often as you feel called, but I would do it at least once a day, at least maybe even a couple times a day, to get into the practice of sensing what you feel and setting the intention to be at the highest frequency you can, so that you can live your life from that place, so that you can make decisions from that place, so that you can respond from that place. Because all of those things impact the next frequency that you are going to be in. And depending on the frequency that you're in, that's going to bring forth to you the reflection of that frequency. As within, so without. That's what we are experiencing all of the time. So when you begin to take control of your own energy system and not let it just simply be moving about based on what you've consumed, how people are treating you, what you see on media, what your experience is in the moment, when you take intentional action in order to align your system to that highest frequency, you're then supporting yourself in high choices. You're supporting yourself in having then high manifestation, high reflection back to you to support you in moving through these challenging times. This is a powerful intention as you practice with it. One more time. I am now choosing to align my energy systems to the highest frequency I can maintain right now. Now I changed that one this time. I added the intention. It doesn't matter. I am now intending to align my systems to the highest frequency I can maintain right now. Or I am now aligning my energy systems to the highest frequency I can maintain right now. Both equally as good. Both lifting your energy systems, your frequency to the highest that you can create from right now. And you're being supported in this. Your guides will support you in this as well, in holding it. And the more you align to that, the more you get to anchor in the feeling of what that feels like for you, the more easily you come back to it. The more easily when you feel yourself come off balance, you can just go back to that GPS point, that intention point, that highest frequency, and navigate just that much more easily, being able to respond in much more neutral way, in a much more loving space, in a much less, in a more joyful space, not as fearful, right? So as we can choose to align, we can allow the fear frequencies to dissipate, because our highest frequency doesn't hold fear. And again, we're at different levels of vibration, we're at different levels of frequency and tone, but the more you choose to align to the highest, the more you're going to find that your outpictured experience begins to shift. And it can shift quite rapidly, because we are in an incredible acceleration of energy and light. Our bodies are changing, our energy systems are changing. And as you choose to do this over and over again, remember, it's going to get higher and higher, right? It's like that spiral upwards, and you get to do that quicker. You get to do that. And then that allows more light to come in. That allows you to stabilize more easily, make better choices that support what you prefer, a preferred experience versus one that is at the whim of chaos of the fear that's in the collective frequencies. So I hope you intend to use that intention this week to support you in lifting your energy field. If you have enjoyed this episode of Embodied Soul, I invite you to like it, share it, turn on notifications, and subscribe to my channel. It's free and it really supports getting the energies and the messages out to those who need it. And I look forward to seeing you on next week's episode of Embodied Soul.